the side that will definitely choke in this tournament. We are here to discuss South Africa's prospects in the Champions Trophy, and they have so many players who are injured. I mean, everyone is injured. So, Arham, what do you feel about their bowling? We're just going to get straight into it.
Yeah, I think chokers wali the conversation is has happened a lot of times for them recent past और बहुत पहले से हो रही है तो उसके अलावा but जो injuries वाली बात की I feel that they have been quite unlucky with the fact that they are going through a lot of injured players recently as well. Some of the players that are coming back into the side are recovering from injuries here and there. So it will be quite interesting to see eventually what squad forms up for them and what happens when they go on to play क्या 11 फॉर्म करते हैं. बट बॉलिंग
Exactly.
की हाँ बॉलिंग की जहाँ तक बात है वो quite it has always been sorted for them. Injuries always disrupt them. More reliance on abhi currently they're relying more on pace all rounders for that matter. But एक तो ये वाली बात when you have players like Marco Jansen you talk about how you're utilizing them rather than whether they'll play good come good for you or not. It's about how you're going to be playing them, at what phases will they be implementing what strategies, rather than will Marco Janssen do good or not. So वही वाली बात है कि they have enough core strength within their side still to do well, but the question always comes on to the day whether they'll do good or not.
Yeah, and it's interesting how they've been carrying their ODI team in the last few years because their strategy has been कि they'll play six batters and five bowlers. I'm considering Jensen as a bowler, and so उस situation में maybe with the bowlers being injured, Wiaan Mulder's role becomes very important at number 7. Now he's someone who hasn't been bowling as much, but they might like have Aiden Markram, Tristan Stubbs, and Mulder share their overs आपस में. Also, in terms of their I think you were saying something, Russell.
या मर्डर की बात कर रहा था. आई थिंक आई रेड समवेयर या किसी वीडियो में आई वाज सेइंग कि ही हैज एक तो कम बॉलिंग कराने वाली अलग बात है. आई थिंक दैट ही हैजंट बीन बॉलिंग एट ऑल an over
Hmm.
or two here or there, even in the this SAT20. I thought okay, he hasn't been used that much by his team. So recent bowling performances that you have nothing to talk about as far as he is considered. So I think more onus will be on part timers like Aiden Markram or Tristan Stubbs for that matter when you're talking about his place in the side. How will he be utilized? So it comes out to how Temba Bavuma will be playing the rest of his bowlers and bowling attack.
Yeah, I mean, South Africa going into 2023 World Cup, it was all set for them and they performed really well. But is bar, things are looking very shaky for them. And as far as their bowling goes, do you see them playing both Tabriz Shamsi and Keshav Maharaj or एक साथ?
I think I do not see them playing both of them. I think they don't trust Shamsi enough. I feel that they'll be playing him, or not all, but they'll be giving him a chance. हो सकता है एक गेम खिला लें, but I think Maharaj gives them that stability in that spin option, and especially considering the fact they use Aiden Markram just like almost not if not exactly like how Australia used Maxwell, but in similar ways. But so वही वाली बात है कि if you have a spin bowler like Pakistan uses Salman Ali Agha for that matter, or will be using Khushdil Shah, so you need a bowler like that, such as Aiden Markram, a part timer who can give you that lot of overs. तो उस case में I do not see him being in the 11. अगर केस थोड़ा डिफरेंट होता एडन मार्करम वुड हैव नॉट बीन देयर या वाज नॉट अ गुड बॉलर एज ही इज यानी as utility bowler that he is. So I think things would have been a bit different. But currently, I do not see them playing both Shamsi and Maharaj.
Makes sense. let's just sort of go towards the batting, and I think वहाँ पे तो जो है वो it's still really good. You can't really like challenge them, and they can really decimate any side on their day. The only difference that they have from the World Cup is that Quinton de Kock has retired, and players like Ryan Rickleton, I mean, playing so well in SA20 right now, and Tony DeZerzi, they are in contention now. So looking at their batting, do you think that it still sort of poses the same kind of challenge, considering Decock is not there, but all the other players are there?
Yeah, so essentially you have two options for that opening slot. You talked about Tony Zorzi and who's the other one?
Ryan
Played
Rickleton.
against Ryan Nicholton. You could argue one of them is you could say that he's the complete carbon copy of the way that Quentin de Kock used to bat, not in the way how he used to bat, but the stance or wali. When you look at him playing, you say that there's some sort of similarity there, but obviously that won't contribute to him being in the side or not. But I उससे ज़्यादा opening slot से ज़्यादा it's to talk about the very impressive middle order that they have. You talk about the likes of David Miller, Andre Klassen, and my favorite player Tristan Stubbs being there. So you see that they are almost great players of spin. They have all the gears of aggression within them. They can win you games from any positions. It's just about whether they are there on the day or not. So South Africa, there's always this contention whether South Africa comes to play or has South African team already accepted defeat in their minds and now they're stepping on the field to play. But there's a lot of potential there. Obviously, Temba Bavuma will have a great role even in the batting lineup because I think that he's that glue that sort of sticks them
Hmm.
together. He's sort of a player who will carry out an innings, take it till the end, hold one end, and the rest can work on with him. तो वो वाली बात है बट आई फील बैटिंग इनकी काफी हद तक सॉर्टेड होगी दे वोंट हैव मच इश्यूज इवन इफ they play a younger the players who are relatively new up front at the top they'll still have enough. You have the options of playing Rassi Vanderdussen, Aiden Markram is still there, so you have that option there with them. There'll be a good mixture of youth and experience when you talk about the South African batting lineup. It'll always be about them finding the right combination, the right playing 11, balanced playing 11 when they're going to move forward.
You know, one of your favorite players actually might not start, and that is Tristan Stubbs.
आज
Because yeah,
yeah वही वाली बात है कि if they are not having him in that combination तो फिर it's just South African things.
no, I'm looking at their lineup, Abhi, and if Rasi at three, and I think he will be at three. I mean, he's done so well over the years for them at that spot. And Markram at four again, in Markram at four, and then Klassen at five, Miller at six. I mean, Stubbs की 3 to 6 हमें नहीं जगह बनती नजर आ रही, and it's weird. अब either now he's going to sit at bench. But there can be two options to bring him in. Either you send someone up top. You either send Markram, Rasi, or Stubbs himself opening the batting with Temba Bavuma, and you sit out Tony Zazorzi or Ryan Rickleton.
Yeah,
Or
I think यही होगा. Maybe they'll open with Aiden Markram. I feel कि
ये हो
वो
सकता है because they've been opening with
red ball form वाली उस पे भी they could play on that. And I think your decision playing having two relatively newer players for that opening slot may have been taken इसी sense में कि they would not maybe play them in all the games, maybe give them a game, or go back to playing the players because we know Aiden Markram will not be relatively newer to that place in the opening slot. So I think ये वाली combination बनेगा तो they'll be having Tristan Stubbs in as well.
Yeah, but एक option ये हो सकता है कि they play Tony DeZorzi and Ryan Rickleton, but they don't play basically Janssen at seven. They push him one spot down, and they basically go seven batters and four bowlers wala formula, and then they share their overs between Stubbs and Markram, जो fifth bowler वाला वाला जो spot है. But I think that is too risky. And this first option might actually work, but I think Stubbs has to play.
Yeah, I always will have him the way he plays. Especially he's not that uh, what I have seen him play, especially against spin, I have seen ke, ek to, we know the class of 100 Klassen and how well he does that against spin. But player like Tristan Stubbs is good to have in your batting lineup, especially at the position that he plays in, because at that stage you do not need players that are slow starters or players you need players who get along well, get along quickly, and get you runs quickly as well. So I think that position he fits the role perfectly for me.
Makes sense. Finally, where do you see them finishing? Personally, I see, as I said before, I see England going out, and इनके group से interestingly, and we will have a lot of conversation about Afghanistan. I think South Africa will not be making semifinals. It's going to be Afghanistan, obviously alongside Australia.
Uh, I I'm sorry to agree with you here, but I do not think. Yeah, it's too brave a call to make for Afghanistan going, and obviously we'll be talking about it more when we discuss their squad later on. But right now, yeah, it'll be one of them, either South Africa or Afghanistan. But it's I agree, it's a close call. It's a tough call to make when we're making predictions right now. But the question is will their batting with the we know that their batting will do good even in these conditions, but the question is जो bowling पे woes हैं इनकी फिलहाल injury
Yeah.
scares and all that, whether they'll be able to come out of it and do well. So I think that will be eventually the most decisive factor.
Yeah, but and I'll get into the reasons why I feel Afghanistan actually might qualify and South Africa might. It's the my point is that it's not it will not be like South Africa's fault that they're going out of the group. Obviously, it will be, but it'll be more about how Afghanistan perform. So that's what my rationale is based on. But yeah, that is about it in terms of South Africa's prospects in the coming Champions Trophy. Thank you so much for watching this.